Oh, these are pretty wild backgrounds, Mr. Purvis.
I know,
Look, do you feel
right?
like you're in some psychedelic fucking weather trip?
70s cartoon, man.
Yes,
Cartoon book, right?
that's right. Because you know what, Campbell, look, ooh, the end is near.
Oh my gosh, the end is near. Jeez, that's
Oh,
what
well,
they're
look.
saying.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to
Yeah.
Tartaria Australia. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everyone feeling this week? It's been pretty rocky out there.
Yeah, man, yeah, a bit going on, as there has been all year, right? And then, go back a couple of years, we had the tsunami that went everywhere. Oh my God, it's a tsunami. Oh, the earthquake, 8.8 in Russia. And it's going to create tsunamis. And there were live streams, like showing all the tides and everything, and nothing happened.
No.
They raised a meter or something in Hawaii, and I've checked out Japan. I haven't seen anything. They apparently they evacuated like 80,000 people or something, didn't they?
Oh, what do we know about statistics, numbers, Cam? What the fuck would we
Yeah,
know? Fucking just evacuate 80,000 people, all right, they say,
they
as
say.
like numbers on a computer. Before we get into the show, though, let's just remind everyone that we've got the Tartaria Australia Jolly Swag Tour coming up, getting inching closer and closer, may I just say. Inching, inching, inching. So that's on the 5th and 7th of September. If you have not heard about it, I couldn't believe it. But if you haven't, it's happening. It's our bush party for the year. We're super excited. It's a big unfolding. Hey, Cam.
Yeah, man, it's going to be cool at the farm in nature.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to do this show down there. We'll have other people talking. We'll have music. We'll have different kinds of wares and
Who the fuck
practitioners.
knows, man? What will
Yes.
be in on display? All we know is that there'll be a few hundred Tartarian Australian audience members camping out for the weekend in whatever capacity they can camp out, and we are all just going to fit somehow and all just make it work. And
Mm.
everyone's just going to, participate in making it all work. So we have basically 3 days together around a campfire. I mean, I can't think of anything more excellent than that. That's like the
No.
epitome of a live event to me.
Yeah, yeah, we've done lots of live events, one day events, and everyone just wants to spend more time with each other. So we thought, okay, we'll do it. So come on down, meet your tribe, as they say.
Yeah,
If
man.
you're feeling isolated or there's no one to talk to, you won't have that problem on the Jolly Swag tour. So come on down, meet some friends, have some good chats, conversations around the fire,
Yeah. And
man.
even if you're coming in alone, if you're a solo traveler or solo, like, do not be scared or shy, man, because everyone who turns up to these events you will feel instantly like you're in a family and instantly supported and loved and communicated with. And it is absolutely not a scary place to turn up to by yourself. So I fully encourage all of you spread out around Australia who have weathered the storm in more solo conditions than some to make the move, make it
Mm,
happen, and come and enjoy. And you don't have to camp out if you're within the vicinity in some capacity of a few hours. If you're not ready to do the camping thing, you can just come for the day and hang out, no problem whatsoever. Yeah.
mm.
So
Yeah,
it's
man.
getting exciting. I'm getting excited, Cam. I've started to look at the finer details now, like the unicorns that'll be floating in our billabong. Have I told you about that idea?
The
No, I don't think.
unicorns. Oh my gosh. No, floating unicorns, alrighty. Jeez. What else will there be? Come down and check it out. And if you are, a little bit away, it's a good way to make the journey because it's 3 days, right? Come and, hang out with us for a while. And we're also going to be there a week or so beforehand if you want to come down and hang out and help us get ready, do a bit of building and all that kind of stuff.
That's
Um,
right.
and all the
Yep.
links are below. Email
Yes. We'll be
tartariaustralia.com.
We'll be doing a little bit of building. We've got a little bit of building left. We've got to put up the cinema and we've got to do a few little bits. But at this point, it's going to be about clearing spaces and decorating, really. So that's going to be the super fun part. Yeah, so look, the tickets are on sale, have been for a while now. But if you're thinking of coming, do us a favor and book now so that we know the numbers. This sort of event isn't something that is easy to pull off when you're out in the bush and you're operating on water tanks and solar and like imported toilet. What are they called? Portaloos. Portaloos.
Portaloos.
Yeah. So the more numbers we know accurately of who's attending, that would be just so helpful to us. So we would really
Hmm.
appreciate it. But basically, this is your first and only opportunity this year to watch a complete Tartaria Australia stage show that we normally do as a day event at the farm under the stars, and you can drink wine and smoke joints the whole way, which you've never got to do before because we're always in a community venue. So if that appeals to you, this is your moment in time, people.
Yes. But
All
we'll be
right.
camping, so yeah, bring a tent or your caravan or your camper van, whatever it is, something to keep yourself shielded and warm. Bring your own cup, bring your own chair, cooking stuff. There will be food there, but you're welcome to bring your own. There will be alcohol there, a bar, but you're welcome to bring your own.
Yeah.
And yeah, furry friends are allowed, but they will be 100% your responsibility. You have to look after them, keep them on a lead, just because we don't want any any unwanted, interactions happening.
Yeah. And also, if you are coming up in a caravan or any sort of bigger rig, you might want to think of turning up on Thursday instead of the Friday and getting yourself sort of like finding your spot and getting yourself
Hmm.
sorted. Up to you guys. We'll be there and the gates will be open and we're ready to receive our wonderful
Mm.
guests who are
Yeah.
turning up to our personal dinner party. I'm excited, Cam. I'm
Yes.
getting
It's,
excited.
and it's someone's birthday on the Tuesday after.
Oh, whose could it be, Campbell?
Oh,
Whose
I
could it be?
wonder. I wonder. Who
Well,
is
on
the
that
burger
note,
around here? Not me,
yep,
that's
who
for
could it
sure.
be? Turning 48 and very excited to be doing it on our farm with our
Hmm.
fucking community.
So, if you did want to hang around for that, you are welcome.
Look, I'm just gonna just before we go, I'm just gonna show you some random and amazing gifts that have been sent through.
Oh,
I love the randomness of what turns up in our
I
mailboxes. And if
know.
ever you guys want to send us something, we love it. And you're welcome to just send me an email and request the address. But this came through a couple of weeks ago, which, Campbell, is a very
Have I seen that one?
intimidating package of what is mushroom spores.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I do have
Yeah.
that.
So
Um,
thank you so much.
do we know what to do with that yet? What is that?
We're
Is it?
s- we're still learning how to do the mushroom spores, but I think I'll take it down to the farm when we have the event and we'll
Oh,
set it all up.
yes, yes, we have some experts down there.
Yes, and one more amazing gift that
We
I
always
wanted to
also
show.
got these. Oh my God, we got this invisible pack of cards. Come on,
Oh, I
become
can't see.
invisible.
Can't see.
Oh, I'm
That's
gonna have to turn my
now you yeah.
invisible. Okay, you're gonna
I
all see
love this is
my
a little show and
room.
tell. We don't get to do show and tell very often.
Show and
This
tell.
amazing kit, I love this. This came in from Patty. This is a gigantic, huge bubble making kit.
Oh, okay. Is that?
Handmade and beautiful and posted to us. And we would definitely, with some beautiful bookmarks, Patty, we are definitely going to take this down to the farm. We are definitely going to have a play with them and definitely do a photo shoot with them and see what amazing scenes we can create at the festival. So
Mm,
thank you guys. That's two lots of amazing things that we can take down to the event. Oh,
yes,
Campbell's
and
exposing his messy
I
room.
know. Can you
Oh,
read
that's right. Yes, those
the
beautiful.
Oracle? Oh, there. Oracle
Yes.
deck. Yes, deck of
Oh, I
cards. We've
love
got
these
one
cards.
each, so I've been pulling a few every now and again. Let's pull one now. Let's
Yeah,
see.
let's put one now. I mean, the
Oh,
innovation and creativity in our community is just
it's
the
very
best.
jolly swag. Don't forget to bring your chair
Oh,
and
yes. Don't
pause for a
forget.
while. Pause your life. Get in nature.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Love those cards. Love the innovation that people and love the craft and the art in people's work. So thank you, everyone. And that is a very valid point. Thank you, Oracle Deck. Everyone has to bring their own chairs. That's it. There's no chairs. Like if you don't bring your chair, we're going to have to give you a tree stump, which is fine, but your bum might get really cold and
Cold and a bit
unhappy.
hard.
Bit,
Yes.
a bit
Numb bum
hard.
syndrome.
Yep. So really don't forget your camping chairs. So important, so important, so important. All right, Campbell. Well, fuck's sake, man. This realm right now, honestly,
Yes.
like, can I?
I mean, there's so much going on, but there's so many agendas being pushed. Look here, look there, look everywhere, but don't look inside. Let us distract you. We can see all these flying disky things in the sky, and that's been going on since the start of the year. And obviously, there's a lot of talk about Project Bluebeam. Now people are back on the whole Nibiru topic, or it's either Nibiru or it's a spaceship, a mothership that's coming to our galaxy from a
I
galaxy
mean,
far away.
they're basically like the premise of our talk today is going to be on this insane agenda that's
Mm,
playing out through all of our content, socials, news, fucking everywhere, every platform, which is all owned by the invaders, by the way. And all these platforms are pushing the basically end of days
end times, yes.
prophecies, end time prophecies, which is, obviously we're part of the live event we did go through a lot in detail, the Abrahamic religions. And well, you all know my vibe with those fucking assholes. But I want to talk about how, we're being basically
Manipulated.
programmed
Yeah.
and have been programmed since, say, television started, since the radio started, since the newspaper started. Basically, from the days of sci-fi, the early sci-fi books and agendas that came out in the 50s and 40s,
Yeah.
have been bringing us to this moment in time. Would you not agree?
Yeah, totally, totally.
Mm.
And, it all kind of burst out in the 50s, the sci-fi stuff. And then before we knew it, man was apparently walking on the moon and driving around in tinfoil buggies and stuff. And then it just kept going, we got into the whole Star Wars thing, to Space Odyssey, and, we got the AI started getting introduced, onto Terminator and Matrix, and basically running it, showing us the script that they want to play out, right? Putting it in our subconscious so it becomes familiar and then it becomes, acceptable, right? And then it
Yep.
becomes, well, this is just the way it's meant to be, because
Yep.
we believe it. And, I think we've all kind of worked out that these elites, these people who are in control at the moment, they're not us, right? That they seem very familiar when you read stories like, about the Anunnaki and the fallen angels and all these things,
Whatever they are.
whatever they are, a different
Because all we
consciousness.
really have is
Yeah.
like some like coloring in pictures.
Yeah, yeah, well, basically, yeah, yeah, that's it. But yeah, that they seem to be running on prophecy, right? Basically, biblical prophecy. They're
They
trying
fucking love
to
it.
play it out at the moment, with all this, all the weather stuff going on and the space stuff going on and blah blah
Yep.
blah. And they just, yeah, end times, end times, end times, right?
End times. We're in the end times,
In the end
everyone.
times, we made
A
it.
lot, we made it. That's right. Fucking made it to the end times. Woo! And like it's like, yes, there's all that sort of science fiction and that sort of like space alien stuff. But alongside that, certainly in the last 10 years, have been all the weather, the end of days weather movies, the big waves, the big earthquakes, the big volcanoes, the
Yeah.
apocalyptic doomsday, the post doomsday when everyone's walking around dealing with zombies and fighting each other to survive, and there's one man's left, or one man and one child as they walk their way through this endless path of
Mm.
fucking ash that's covering their faces from the reactors that have all gone. You know the story, right? Because we've seen it over and over and over again, right?
It's always the same story. I remember in the 80s, it was nuclear war, right? Like
Yep.
they showed us those weird ass movies, and I had to read this book called Z for Zachariah, which
Me too. That
you
was
read
part of the
that?
school.
How
Yes,
dystopian was
sure
that? He's
did.
just walking through this
Yep.
wasteland and everything's
Yep.
destroyed and stuff. And,
That's
and so
right.
they've been constantly programming us with this
Yep.
doomsday thing, like that we're heading towards a barren, desolate, destroyed Earth rather than an amazing, interactive Earth that we've created. And this is
Have
what
you
they're doing,
noticed?
man.
Have you noticed, Cam, that like prophecy is never in our fucking favor? Have you noticed this? Like
Yeah,
all of the
right.
prophecies that ever come out across the world forever and never, ever in our favor. They're
No,
always shit. They're
yeah.
always fucking shit. And the only one that people are going to argue is in our favor is that Jesus Christ is going to return and bring on 1,000 years of peace. And it's just like, is he? Is he? Because he certainly is part of the religious agenda. He's the flip side. He's the pop star. He's the rock star. He's Jesus Christ superstar. He's the one that makes you feel all good and gooey about it.
Mm.
But like,
Unless you're a
it's never in
Muslim,
our fucking
because then you're
favor.
going to burn. You
Burn, baby,
go.
burn. Sure, man. We are gonna burn. So,
But yeah,
Cam,
but there's no prophecy ever that says everyone is going somewhere better. It's always slighted. It's like as long as you believe in my God, then yes, we're going to win, and everyone else will be judged and burned because they're
no.
evil, because they
And it's
didn't
always the
worship the
same.
right God.
Yep. And it's always the same sort of prophecy with always the same steps involved. You
Mm,
never get a prophecy like, oh, yeah, in 2026, the prophecy is that the world greens up again. Oh, the prophecy is that like we have this like beautiful new mystical creatures appear that look like llamacorns. Like,
mhm.
or peace is in or let's say what would be some prophecies that would, be working in our favor?
Yeah,
Poison is removed from the food chain.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
2028,
yes.
prophesized.
The people reject the government, so government is reduced to a small
That's
entity that we
right.
control, who just do what we need. You
Yep.
know, everyone,
No,
the economy gets better for everyone. Poverty is erased. Everyone
that's
lives
right.
in harmony. There's nothing, right?
No,
It's
no, no, no,
all
no, no.
doom and gloom and
Oh,
doomsday and judgment and God's coming down and zapping us for,
mate, always.
worshipping on the wrong altar.
Always. And when you actually compare the three Abrahamic religions where all this mess has come from, they basically all got the same end day prophecies. It's all the
Mm,
same. It all ends in like basically massive weather, doomsday events, the false Messiah, then the coming of the real Messiah, and then the judgment of all the beings on this earth, the nasty humans, and
mm.
then we reinstate it into a control grid. And maybe it'll all end up being one world religion. It doesn't matter who fucking gives a shit because basically it is all manipulation.
And
So
it's
can I just
already a one world religion, not pretty much, because the
it
three main
is. It
religions are
absolutely is.
all Abrahamic, right? They all
Yes,
come from the
absolutely.
same
Hmm.
story, the same
Hmm.
start point. So we've already
Agreed.
got that pretty much.
Agreed. And I
Mm.
would I would even potentially argue that the ones that aren't Abrahamic are reptilian, but we can talk about that one on another show.
Oh,
But let me just remind everyone, I want to remind you all, because every time you go onto your socials right now, every time you turn on the television, I don't know if you still have a television to turn on, every time you potentially open
actually, I
up a
do.
newspaper, if you're reading the newspaper and not using it to clean your windows, I don't know, whatever. Whenever you go to access content or information, you are overwhelmed right now. Bushfires, floods, earthquakes, volcanoes, ring of fire,
Yeah, mud
the
floods,
Patonic plates, the Yellowstone. Brrr.
earthquakes, tsunamis. Yep, yeah, Yellowstones. And they've been pushing that
Hmm.
one for like a decade or two, but
Yep.
yeah.
And
Uh,
they want everyone to like, they want it all linked back to the end of days prophecies. It's all getting linked back, and all the Christians out there are going nuts with this. And all the Muslims, all of them are going really hardcore associating the weather events with biblical prophecy. So I want to
mm,
remind us, Campbell, I just want to remind the audience fucking hell, what's been going on in the realm as far as weather has been like playing out for decades, our whole lifetime. So let's just have a little reminder about what's actually happening here that will
mm,
validate the fact that we are being completely
yeah,
programmed and
yeah,
none of
man.
this is fucking natural.
Remember when we used to talk about Harp and Gwen towers? I mean, that was
Yeah,
decades ago, right? And
decades
it's just
ago.
evolved and evolved.
Now, this is just a really mainstream little clip, but like I just want everyone to have an updated reminder of what's really happening with our weather, and it's nothing to do with any prophecies, to do with any gods.
This is the history of human weather modification. During World War II, too many British Air Force pilots were crashing while trying to land in heavy fog so
Oh,
thick some crews just
poor
ditched their
airplane
planes in the
pilots.
sea and
Boo-hoo.
parachuted out rather than landing
You
blind.
mean
So
murderers,
scientists came
flying
up with a plan
murderers?
to install gasoline pipelines along both sides of the runway and ignite them to create huge rows of flame, which then evaporated suspended fog droplets, allowing the Allied aircraft to locate the airfield and land safely. In 1946, techniques were
46.
developed that triggered rain and snowfall in places that wouldn't have gotten any otherwise. This became known as cloud seeding. It works by dispersing dry ice, salt, or silver iodide into clouds.
Oh, yeah, just a reminder here, Cam. Just a reminder how long this shit's been going on. Your whole goddamn lifetime.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't even
World
know
War
what
Two.
natural weather is anymore, huh?
No, that's World War Two,
Yeah,
1946.
I
Like,
know.
that's
Yep,
crazy at the end of
yep,
World War Two.
that's right.
And this has all been in the public domain for
Mhm.
decades and decades. But,
That's right.
people, they just don't tell us. So a lot of people think we're conspiracy theorists.
That's right. That's right. I don't think they mentioned Jesus Christ in this video, but let's just see how we go.
To alter their microphysical processes. In the early 60s, the US government began testing cloud seeding on hurricanes to learn if it was possible to weaken them. Rocket canisters of silver iodide were dropped from aircraft
Oh,
into the
rocket
storm's
canisters
eye,
of silver
and gun-like
iodide.
devices mounted on the wings also sprayed the stuff onto the clouds. Initially, the tests seemed to work. Wind speeds were cut, and in some cases, the hurricane eye walls even fell apart. But as observational technology improved and more controls were carried out, the hypothesis was invalidated and the program was canceled. In its desperation to win the Vietnam War, the Americans turned to weather modification to make it harder
Did
for the
they?
enemy to move
Jeez,
throughout the
Cam.
region by
Yeah,
inducing
Surprise!
heavy
they
rainfall
just
to
stopped
muddy
for
or
20
destroy their dirt
years, if you
roads and
believe
trails.
that.
47,000 canisters of silver iodide were dropped over North and South Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. Some areas supposedly saw their monsoon period extended by up to 45 days. But just 2 days after the New York Times exposed the program,
This is the
it was
70s.
discontinued. Operation Popeye caused the USSR and US to negotiate a ban on the military use of offensive weather modification techniques in 1977. But the treaty didn't stop countries from using cloud seeding against themselves, as the Soviet Union did in 1986 when the
Against their own
Chernobyl nuclear
people.
disaster sent fallout into the sky. Civilians on the ground and the Russian pilots who carried out the mission have confirmed that aircraft flew overhead, ejecting a substance into the clouds. This resulted in heavy, black-colored radioactive rain to fall in Belarus instead of onto the Soviet capital, Moscow. Today, 37 countries are operating weather modification programs to
no
enhance
shit.
rainfall or suppress hail, or both. But nobody does it quite like the Chinese, who established the Bureau of Weather Modification in the 1980s that's now a 37,000 people strong sort of weather national guard, ready at a moment's notice to operate the more than 4,000 rocket launchers, 7,000 anti-aircraft guns, and 30 aircraft to trigger downpours in drier areas that really need the rain. The Bureau's highest profile operation was keeping Beijing's Bird's Nest Stadium dry during the opening ceremony of the 2008 Olympics. The following year, the Bureau dropped 186 doses of silver iodide into a cold front
Silver
to bring
iodide,
drought-stricken
popular.
Beijing its earliest snowfall since 1987. A Swiss company took advantage of the United Arab Emirates' desperation to bring rain to its arid lands by building 10-meter-tall electrical towers that produce negatively charged ions that, according to the company, supercharges the formation of rain clouds. But a former chairman at NOAA isn't buying it, saying, quote, "This method is inherently incapable of producing clouds out of thin air," end quote. The thing about weather modification is that it's hard to prove it works.
Oh,
But based
really?
on the results
Really?
we've seen
Hard
and the
to
number of
prove it
countries
works.
still doing it, man's effort to control precipitation isn't stopping anytime soon, even though we have little understanding of the unintended consequences.
Oh, do we?
If this video opened your eyes,
We have little
Well,
understanding, Cam.
yeah, I
Little
mean,
fucking hell.
1946, that was 80 years ago. And
80 years ago.
And they always say, "Oh, yes, we did it, but then we got busted, so we stopped for 20 years. And then we started again and we got busted, so we stopped." They never stopped.
We stopped. We
No,
stopped
we
because we
stopped.
heard that you were upset about it. We stopped.
Yeah, because
Sorry,
we
sorry. We don't
listened to
need
the
to do it.
people.
That's right, because there's biblical prophecies coming anyway, and the end of days are here, and we don't have to get involved anymore. What the fuck,
Yeah,
guys? If anyone's falling for this end of day prophecy stuff, that is absolutely the dominant algorithm on every single thing we watch right now.
yeah.
Like, trust us. This shit's been going on since the last reset and always wraps itself around a reset.
Mm,
Always.
yeah.
Because it's always a religious dogma invader that is the one responsible for the resets.
Yeah, man.
So,
I mean, and it works in more than one way, right? It's a good way to get people into religions. Religions are a control, right? They're a control mechanism. But when you start showing everyone and putting them in fear, and oh my God, the end is coming, the end is coming, people start going, oh my God, should I find Jesus now? Should I? I don't want to burn in hell. And it creates this whole fear, but also people then start seeing Jesus, right? Because they've got no other answers and they're just reflecting off the propaganda is because that's all it is, man. It's just a big story, but it's always been the same. They've always been, doing whatever they can to, destroy us basically, right?
I mean, seriously, if we didn't have the internet, what would our lives look like, Cam? Like, what I look outside of my life, everything's excellent. The biodiversity around me is thriving. The weather's beautiful. Everything's vibrant and green. The community's functioning at the highest level possible. It's all
Mm.
good. It's all good. And
Yep.
actually, in the majority of our whole lifetime, for everyone who's watching this, it's been fucking good,
Yeah,
hasn't it?
man. Yeah, there's no wars, there's no, well, natural disasters, like we haven't had any. There's been a few floods and things, but nothing too bad. And of course, this is all pumped at us, and we've talked about this before, is they do it. And, yes, we should have empathy for people, and it definitely could be happening to people. But if it's not happening to us, then we shouldn't be taking on this fear, this all this kind of stuff, right? Because we can't deal with it. Like we can't do anything about it. If you see, an earthquake or whatever in a foreign country and you get all this fear and oh my God, blah, 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 like it's not happened to you, so you can't do anything. So it just sits in you. And it's unhealthy, man. It's not good for mind or body. And this is what they're doing. They're just pumping us up
Yes.
with fear.
Omens, our omens, the omens that we deal with every single day, apparently, the omens that are happening the omens are like engineered.
Mm,
As most of these omens are coming from A, weather events, which have been engineered throughout our entire lifetime. Entire lifetime. Entire
totally.
lifetime.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't even
Tesla.
know the weather.
Tesla invented the earthquake machine back in the 30s, and that's been proven to have been used. I even saw a video earlier saying that they were using HARP signals, and that set
Mhm.
off the earthquake in Russia. They got all these ways to do things,
Yep.
and they're doing it right now. So, this is why we can't believe that they stopped for 20 years when we asked them to. No, they didn't. And then suddenly, oh, yes, we stopped in the 70s. Then suddenly in the 90s, oh, we just built the biggest HARP array ever built. Sorry about that. Didn't we tell you? Didn't we tell
I
you? We
mean,
used your money for it. I swear we told you.
I mean, harp, everyone knows about harp. Everyone, we don't fucking understand it properly. We don't have the real truth about what it is, but we're all very conscious of it. We've been following it for a long time. Everyone knows about CERN. Hello, fuck with dimensions,
Mm,
fuck with
yeah,
dimension, interdimensional, fuck with the very fabric of our electronical reality.
yep, yep. And of course, the chemtrails, right? We all see them. I've seen them in every country I've been to, like that. They're everywhere, right?
Everywhere,
And
totally
like
everywhere.
there's even videos out showing the pilots and saying how much they get paid, and they just go out and spray chemicals around, and this is, we're at the point where people are like, oh, well, we can't do anything about it. It's just happening, and it's like the fear thing because a lot of people are quite angry about the chemtrails, and every time they see one, they're jumping up and down and yelling and screaming, but you can't do anything about it. So it's all this, outrage that sort of gets bottled up in us. So, this is the agenda, but just, I would say don't take on too much of this fear if you can't do anything about it. Or if it's that bad,
Just
look for a
like
solution and do something about it,
or
right?
just see your way through it. Because
Mm,
at the end of the day, like we are very conscious that the agenda, the invaders, have put an entire false electronic magnetic frequency grid around us through all the
yeah.
G's, man. Isn't it
Yeah, yeah,
funny?
yeah.
Like G's,
Oh,
G's for
geez.
God, 5G,
Oh,
6G,
geez.
8G, 10G, 1G, 2G,
Geez.
all the G's, man.
Maybe there's
G's.
more G's getting here, and that's what they're
Yeah,
telling
so,
us.
and it's interesting as when they amped up the 5G network during the 2020, that there's so many more people who got touched by the words of God, who had a moment of of experiencing the Holy Spirit, had a moment of experiencing,
Mm,
and when you think to yourself, well, I'm a fucking astute human being. I'm conscious, I'm sovereign, I know what's going on. That stuff would never impact me. And yet, Campbell, and yet I was one of those people that had Trump dreams. Hello, let's go back to the Trump dreams for a second. Huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Trump
We
dreams, yes.
yes, have validated enough evidence to show you that across the realm, certainly in the Western worlds where it's relevant, in 2020, people were having very emotional, very detailed dreams about Trump that would all leave them feeling very connected to the fact that Trump was part of their team, they were part of his, they're all working for the betterment of humanity. And we all had these emotional Trump dreams where you'd wake up and you'd be thinking, oh, that was a fucking amazing dream. Oh, God, I love Trump.
The
Like,
Savior's
and
here.
you're kind of honored or something. It was like, oh,
Yeah. Because that was a part of him. Like that, you're always asked to help, right, or to be a part of the team in
yep,
some way. So you were
yep,
in there,
absolutely. Hmm.
and lots of religious leaders had these dreams too, and they came out and they were literally saying, "The Savior's here. Trump's the Savior. God's return." And our small hat friends are saying that as well.
Yep.
And it's very end times, right? The Savior's returning, Jesus is returning, really?
Yep.
Like we never used to hear this in the 70s or 80s, did we? That, oh, in 2025, that's when, Jesus is coming back. Like it's just suddenly popped out of the ether, right? This whole concept. We're suddenly here. It's happening. He's going to
Yep.
return.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I mean 2020 like the 2020 had a big part to play in that because obviously the world like fragmented and the hero of the day back then was, supported by and was himself apparently not a Christian. And, and the Christian patriotic movement really came into play around Trump.
mm,
So we got this huge new fixation, focus, and then it was a contrasting experience because everyone's like, fuck the whole perversion, fuck the sexual perversion, the breakdown of the family. Like the entire agenda to corrupt the human being was seen as the opposite to the Christian agenda. So
mm.
they really did distinguish between the two, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of people,
Politically as well, like
yeah,
literally, right? Red's
yeah,
Christian,
politically.
blue's not. Mm.
Yeah. So in the Western world, Christianity has swooped up to the top of the stage since Trump entered power and we went through 2020. So, I
Yeah.
mean, we've got to note that. And in those days, not only were people dreaming spontaneously, not, but dreaming apparently spontaneously across the Western world of Trump having very powerful emotional dreams, there were other people who were being touched by the Holy Spirit
Mm. Yeah.
which were validating the proof, as the Trump dreams did, that Jesus is very real, very beautiful, very loving, very in service to humanity, and very much coming back
Mm.
as
Yeah.
the answer to all of this.
Yeah, man. It's like there's so many YouTube channels out there that have built their whole channels up to the millions just based on this, right? On
Hmm.
Trump and Jesus, and we're going to win, and he's coming back, and we're going to be saved, and but again, it's the whole story, right? It's like we're going to be saved. And you Muslims will burn, and you Buddhists are
That's right.
heathens. And if you practice tarot or you know your horoscope, then that's evil. It's all
That's
this
right.
judgment, judgment,
That's
judgment. And
so much judgment.
it's
I've got
like
a good
we
chart for
win,
that.
ha ha ha, we won the game, you
Yep.
lost.
Yep.
It's
It's so
not
true.
it's not, loving and compassionate and empathetic and we're all going somewhere better. We're all going to help each other. Together we can, get out of this. It's very much a well
Oh,
chose right, you chose wrong. Bleh.
yeah.
It's the
The
weirdest
world
thing.
is.
But
Yeah,
he's
I
a loving
agree.
God. He's a loving God.
The
And it's
world has
I love
definitely
him back.
become more divided and more judgmental than ever before, ever before. And the thing with awakening one's consciousness to the next frequency band is you have to drop your prejudice. But of course, by adopting someone else's what's the word? When you
Dog,
adopt a religion, what is that? You're
dogma,
adopting someone else's
dogma.
something else's dogma, not
Mm.
someone, but some things
Yes, yes.
dogma, when you adopt it as your own, you're suddenly like adding layers to yourself. You're not like
Yeah.
you're adding layers of judgment, layers of biasness, layers of dependency, layers of lack of sovereignty,
Mm.
layers of the savior. All coming, no matter how you approach any religion, that is the end.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the problem, right? That's the statue story, right? The statue is not finished when there's nothing more to add. The statue's finished when there's nothing more to take away, right? And all these things are adding, adding, adding. They're not stripping off the crap that is controlling us, right? So that we
Yeah.
get back to who we truly are. It's
Yep.
here's some more stuff, here's some more stuff, and and it's from outside of you. Believe in something outside of you, right? Because if you don't, and that's the other thing, it's with all religions, right? It's like the biggest way they get people to join their religions is, well, if you don't, it's going to be really bad. It's not,
Really bad.
come and join us. It's amazing. We love you. We'll support you, blah, blah, blah. It's always, well, if you don't follow Jesus or if you don't follow Buddha or Muhammad, well, you're going somewhere bad. And everyone
Oh,
who does, they're going
you're
somewhere
going.
really good. And it's
That's
for
right.
eternity. For
Yes.
eternity.
And the thing is with like dogmas like this and the astute intelligence of the invasion of our invaders, is that they're experts at generating emotions. They're experts at generating and understand the human capacity to be emotional. So when you add like Christ consciousness to music, for example, you are suddenly talking about, situations where 500,000 people will gather in ecstasy via the music for the word of God. Like there are so many amazing, beautiful souls who have, what's the word, Campbell? Like stumbled into this and
Yeah,
believed it to be
being
real.
co-opted, um, had the wool pulled over their eyes.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it's
basically
true.
being blindsided, right? And
Yeah.
it's because, there's a lot of dark rabbit holes. There's a lot of questions, not that many answers when you get into this sort of arena of trying to find out what's going on. And after years, a lot of people that they don't find the end, they end up stressed out, they end up fearful, and they're looking for an answer. Right? And so when someone gives you an answer and it's like this will solve all your issues, you can get rid of your stress, you're all good, you won't burn in hell. It's a good offer for a lot of people, right? And so they're like, yep, I'm in. Get rid of
But
all
for
this
most
other stuff.
for most people from the truth community that returns back to a religion, like it is usually come because they've been touched by the Holy Spirit. They've felt it. They've been down on their knees crying uncontrollable. They've felt the
Yeah.
unconditional love. It's like they've had a hit of like an emotional
Mm,
frequency band. And that's it. That's the evidence required to move them into a state that this exists and it's loving and it's good and it's for us. It's for us. It's for us. When I listen to Jesus songs, which I love, by the way, just so know, everyone, I like Jesus music. But, like I don't believe I see it as fairy tales. But yeah, they feel good, right? Because you can take out the word the Savior or the Messiah or God and reflect it back onto yourself. You could sing to your highest self. You could sing to your best friend's highest self. You could sing to your family's highest self. You could
mm.
just sing to love. Just take out all the words and just sing it to love. So when people feel that hit of this frequency bomb of emotions, then that's basically the evidence, all the evidence they need. So if we play this out, so I did a chart up here, Cam. I sort of read it, right? This
Ah,
compares basically the three Abrahamic religions and their end of day stories, right? Just so
ah,
you know that it's
yeah.
not specially relevant to the second coming of Christ. It's just across all Abrahamic religions that are all building up, that all run the world, that all own and innovated the technology that has manipulated all the omens in order to validate that these prophecies are real.
And they have created the technology to put thoughts into people's minds, right? They were
Oh,
doing this
and
decades
we fucking
ago.
know it.
Yeah, yeah. So they can definitely affect, what you see in your mind, your emotions, voices in your head, all this kind of stuff. So they can literally manipulate you into thinking you've had some kind of, experience with Jesus.
Yeah. Mate, let's list some of them up. MK Ultra. We know that like they can manipulate our dreamscapes. They can, all of the nanotech that's in our food, that even if you didn't take the jab, you probably still got shitloads inside you because it's in our food chain, it's in our waterways, it's all around us for a long time, people, for a long, long time. So we really are quite susceptible to anything to do with frequency manipulation in this world. That's like don't even
Yeah.
remember in 2020, like what did we all do? We all were on our fucking socials 24/7. Like, let's be honest, we
Yeah.
wanted to know what was happening. We were obsessed. This whole unfolding, for those who'd been in disclosure for decades previously, it was like, woohoo! Like this finally, the
Something's
best time
happening.
ever.
Woo!
I'm
Yeah.
dedicating the next 4 years just to watching this play out, sort of thing. You know, it's my time, sort of thing. But ultimately, we were all on our socials or on our news feeds, whatever capacity you were on there. And that time was a massive, big surge of our use of being connected with our devices, right? Massive
Totally.
surge,
Totally.
massive surge.
Yeah,
And,
and
you
the
know,
whole online shopping, for food and everything came in, obviously, for very, for reasons that were
that's right.
instilled. And so now, the malls are empty, right? Everyone is literally at home buying
Yep.
buying everything online.
And haven't we not seen enough video evidence of people with mobile phones using infrared cameras to show that their phones take a photo every 5 seconds?
Yep,
Junk,
yep.
junk, junk, junk. Every 5 seconds, this computer right now is flashing in my eyes. Every 5 seconds, it's flashing. All of the devices are flashing. And then the growth in the AI linked, subliminal linked, all the shit that comes through movies, all the like layers now. We used to think subliminals is this one thing that would just they'd somehow cleverly fit in, but now there's like 10 layers of that shit, going
Mm.
into our subconscious mind.
And again, they were doing that back in the 50s, man. They were, using subliminals to make people buy Coke and popcorn.
Yep.
That's 70 years ago, right? So, we know that they don't throw these techs away. They keep working on them and just using them. And so, I'm sure it's in the music now, right? There's definitely something weird going on with Swifties, man. Like that's like they're all entranced, right? They listen to the
Yep.
music and suddenly they're, I don't know, they're part of the Taylor Swift cult, right? It's very
And like
strange.
everyone's got to acknowledge at some point that the concept of demons and Satan and Lucifer and that whole inversion, that is Baal. That's a Baal practice. That's a Baal. Like if we were to look at any sort of gods of that ilk, it's all the gods. It's Marduk, it's Moloch, it's Jehovah, it's Baal. It's just that's all one
Yahweh.
consciousness trying to Yahweh explain this invader. But on the flip side of that same coin, because the point is, it's the same coin, is the other, Campbell, is the angels, is the Christ, is God, is Jesus, is the, or Allah, or the Messiah, or whoever the hell word you want to
Hmm.
put in there. Isa, it doesn't matter. It's the same principle because it comes from the same coin. One does not exist without the other. They're
Yeah,
not mutually exclusive. They do not have independence without the other. They
right.
are from the same coin. They are the same coin.
It's got to be
They're the
options,
same.
right? But it's an illusion. It's like politics, the illusion of having a choice. But there's not there, and it's problem reaction solution, right? It's here's the problem, like the world's going to end, and so there's Satanists coming up as well. Oh my God! And so the solution is find Jesus.
Yeah. Find peace with your creator.
Mm.
Find peace with your creator.
Because it's all going to
Be
end.
mm-hmm.
Don't go inside and find the creator within and create something different that will help everyone. No, your
No talk
creator,
about the imagination. Don't
no.
apply that because we're masters of that. We're in control of your imagination. That's actually what we spend our whole time focusing on is your fucking goddamn imagination. Like, don't use that. Don't apply that to any of this. Just here, we'll do it all for you. And we do now, don't we? We've even created the AI that will do it all for you. You don't even have to draw or paint or create or write or do poetry or speak even or do anything anymore because we'll just do it all for you. Hand it over, humans.
And that's what school is. Like that literally teaches us to accept answers from other people rather than thinking for ourselves. And when
And
we
so there's
do think
always
for
something.
ourselves, when we get our own conclusion, that's wrong. You're stupid. Go stand in the corner.
Yep.
Right. So we're literally programmed to live this way and to look outside for answers.
And to know that when you do look outside for answers, there's a threat.
Mm,
There is a threat. Always there's a threat. Whether it be the Cold War or the nuclear bombs or the world wars or the Nazis or or the fucking there's always a threat. The end of
mm.
days and this
Yeah.
prophecy that's been
Fascism,
like,
socialism,
yep,
communism.
yep, there's always a goddamn threat because that's what they do. Because their whole work is to control our consciousness.
Mm.
That's the whole job to control the organic humans' frequency band and consciousness and keep us all focused on their shit. And it's very going to be harder and harder, everyone, to like
Mm.
not focus on their shit when you think that there's a point 10 fucking earthquake about to like smash over the world and destroy the realm. You know,
Mm.
and man, I have been in that space. I have been there, Campbell. I have watched the weather. I have watched it. I have expected it. I have been in the end of day space. I
You
have got,
have.
yeah, I have planned for like, I've like sorted my house out for such things,
Yeah,
I am a prepper.
you are a
As,
prepper.
yeah, as is everyone else around me in some form or other, have been prepping for this event there pretty much the last 20 years.
Mm.
So it's like so ingrained in our consciousness, even as truth
Well,
seekers, because the trick is we think that prepping was us being ahead of their game,
mm.
right, as truth seekers, but in reality, us prepping is us playing their game.
Yeah, it's so 1984, right? With the Yellow Army in that's this constant threat. It's just constant, and no one ever sees them, or interacts with them, but it's this constant outside threat that's coming to get them.
Yeah.
And that's what we're in now, right? They just changed the threat. It's the same game, same script.
So, are we not sitting here saying, by the way, that if you experience a fire going through your neighborhood and obviously lose everything, or if you're in the way of a tsunami or a tornado or a storm or one of these floods, like that's fucked, and our hearts go out to you because that's all real. You
Mm.
are experiencing all those terrible
Yeah,
things, but it's not coming as an omen of end of days.
no, it's coming from your government because they hate you.
Yeah. And those governments hate you because they are part of an invasive force,
Mm.
basically.
Yeah, they're literally trying to take over. They're trying to change us. They're trying to geoengineer the realm, with all the stuff in the sky, with all the stuff in the food, in the water, in the drug. All, we know it. Everything they do is to change us and to make us weaker and to
Yeah.
basically give more control for them. And, they are good at the script, right? They are. They,
Yep.
like Kelly said, we were all following it and prepping and getting ready for all this stuff. But when you look at it, I think it's all a script. They're, they're,
I
they're
mean,
they're creating the stuff to make us think it's natural, but we know it's not natural. It's not earth changes. It's weather modification. It's earthquake machines. It's HARP. It's all these things. CERN, right? All their technology, the L-etrics of the L-ites, right?
we always sort of skip over this topic because the live show we go into detail on it.
Yes, we
So,
can't go too deep. You have to come see us live. Coming to a
yeah,
city near
definitely,
you.
definitely come see the live show because it's a very good liberation from all of this. So, I mean, like just to see how it plays out over and over and over and over again. Interestingly, and let's talk about how it always wraps itself around a reset moment, Cam. There's always something of this ilk, always around a reset moment. So, of course, there's like, we get to a point where there's like, a final conflict. Like, and it's got to be global. It's got to be a global event, right? It's got to be a final conflict. In this case, it's probably, and predicted by the Abrahamic, all three of them religions is going to occur in Israel. Hello. All right. So we've got a savior or a messiah figure, right? Like, hello, we love that. We've got one who brings, peace,
Yeah, and we've even
but
got
after.
someone who popped up. Is he Russian or whatever? And basically proclaimed that he was. I don't think did he say he was an ex-Jews or he said he's basically like a prophet or something like this. So that
Yeah.
they're popping their heads up. They're out there.
Yeah.
Find
And
your savior.
they're either for peace or for judgment. And then in all three of them, guess what happens next? There's
The good ascend to heaven and the evil ones get burnt
Oh,
alive
not quite.
as a
That hasn't happened
sacrificial.
yet.
Oh.
There's one more step that always happens in between the savior figure arriving and bringing peace or judgment, and that is the resurrection of the fucking dead. Now, isn't that
Oh,
interesting?
okay.
Like back on the back of last week's show, the resurrection of the dead. That's so interesting to me because at this point we can't even validate what happens when people die because we can't find any goddamn bodies. So, like the resurrection of the dead, because but the way the movies is portrayed, that is through the zombies, right?
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
zombies, all the dead people that have been buried, rise and start doing their thing. They get animated, and Jay would say they get animated by the plasma charge,
yeah.
all these dead be. But really, Like, where are all these dead bodies that are going to like be resurrected from the dead, Cam?
Oh, maybe they've already risen up to heaven
Maybe,
and we
maybe
got
the
left behind.
yeah, maybe the simulation just
But
like, just
yeah,
erase
yeah,
them.
yeah, maybe, yeah, or they got eaten by the earth. I mean, who knows? But I mean, yeah,
Recycled back into the food chain.
interesting. Like that, there's a whole talk of they got what was it, the 1,000 years of Christ? What do they call it? The something years. And this is, and people are like, oh no, Christ has already come back. There was 1,000 years reign, the millennial reign. And yes, and we're just living in a time where our all-loving God just released the devil onto the earth for 200 years to see what would happen. You only get one lifetime, so if you ended up living in the devil's time, sorry about that. You could have lived with Christ, but I'm a loving God, but sorry about that one. Um,
I was doing it for your own evolution, people, your own
it's,
growth.
it
Except
does.
game out, you're done. One lifetime.
Does my head in, man. And like, but he's a loving God. I mean, ripped off. So yeah, that I find that narrative very strange that Christians follow it and they're like, yes, he's already returned and we just live in the devil's just trying to, manipulate us and get us to go to hell.
But it's not God's fault.
No,
It's
it's
all
not God's
meant,
fault.
it has to happen this way.
It's the devil's fault. But I
Devil's
mean,
fault.
that's the thing, right? God, devil, good, evil, they're just the opposites, the
Yeah,
antithesis of the
that's
sword,
right.
right? If,
It's
if
the
you've got a
polarization.
if you've got a problem, you need a solution, or else how do you
Yeah.
sell it to people?
Now, it's interesting when you think of resurrection of the dead, because that appears in all of their holy books across the board, right? In their various terminologies for it. But resurrection of the dead, if you take it off the back of our previous conversation, which is basically we live in a dead world, we are represented by legal death. We're born dead. When we're born, we're dead, and we have ghosts that they interact with. So this whole realm is an interaction of ghosts and dead people and very few living organic humans, very few living humans in amongst that mix. Dramatically,
Hmm.
dramatically, woo, so much smaller. Oh my God. Like if you think about how many people you've actually met in your lifetime, how many people you're capable of meeting in your lifetime. Like, when we did the events, right? Like the last event. So what we sold out the event and maybe I spoke to in the 48 hours. Maybe I really did have conversation and like literally look in someone's eyes, maybe 60 people, which absolutely like, I gave all my love and energy to that. And I was tired. The whole week I was tired. I could feel the amount of energy that I had like weaved into the experience. Um, so my point being that like that's a one-off sort of thing that would happen to us, at these live events for us. But
Hmm.
in an average whole lifetime for you, and when I say you meet someone, I mean you have to speak to that, you have to have eye contact, right? It can't just be background scurrying of a busy city.
Hmm.
But like if you think about everyone, like what could it be, 1,000 people?
That
Is
you've had
that
an
being
interaction with. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah,
really generous? It's
yeah.
more like in
I
the
doubt there would be
hundreds.
many that would get to 1,000. Like it might seem like a lot, but when you go through them and start writing them down, all the people you've known,
Yeah.
when you were, a kid, like, you're at school, right? It's probably 30 other people, but, it doesn't mean that you had interactions with them all. You probably had your bestie and your little gang of four or five, and, that was pretty much it. And this is, I guess, getting to the whole NPC sort of conversation, but it just seems that, there's not these billions of people wandering around everywhere, right? That we're bumping into all the time. It's just, it's an interesting question, and it's definitely a death. It's a death cult, right? That's why the judges wear black robes. Like they're
And that's
doing
why, and
necromancy, man. That's why
And
we're
that's
all
why
dead.
we're about to be judged. We're
Yes.
about to be judged. Like that's the end of days scenario. It's just the ultimate judgment.
Mm.
We're this constantly judged, judged, judged.
Yeah, they've
Interesting.
created their hell already, right? From their prophecy. They've already done it. We're all dead. We're all burning in debt.
Yeah.
Like it's.
So everything in the public system we have really clearly understood is dead. It's dead. It's all based on basically ghosts. It's all based on ghosts.
Mm. Yeah,
And so
yeah.
it's interesting that it plays out as an actual feature in the chain of like the steps that will under are underway right now with the end time prophecies across all the religions. That is a thing, the resurrection of the dead. We've always thought it was just, something about people coming up from the graves, but I don't know, maybe it's something a little bit more literal than that.
Yeah, maybe they're going to cash in their bonds, right?
Yeah.
And then, live their trillionaire, quadrillionaire lifestyles while
Yeah,
we
I know.
live in
Because
humpies, right?
Because when like if you go with the end time prophecies, everyone's going to like adapt transhumanism and take the mark of the beast. Now everyone said the mark of the beast is a chip that they would never fucking have. But in actual fact, if you're keeping up with technology in any capacity, you'll just have it because it will just be like email. It will just be integrated so thoroughly that to not have it will be very difficult to work with. Like if you were one of those people back in the 2000s said, I'm never getting an email. I'm fucking never doing. I'm not putting my business online and I'm not getting an email. No fucking way am I interacting that way. And I'm not shopping that way. If you had done that, it would have been ultimately on the level of success in commerce, completely detrimental. You
Totally.
would have just been so, it would have been so difficult eventually to operate without a mobile device, without an email, without the internet in any capacity.
Mm.
So, you think that the mark of the beast is something that you're going to choose and be like, no, we would never do that. It's like that's not what it is. Like we're already integrated into it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, every credit card has a chip in it.
Yeah,
Every phone has a chip in it.
that's right. So when we interact with that, Campbell, when we have an identity in that way, that's us being dead.
Mm.
Interacting in any capacity on the internet, which is like this weird little multi-dimension that we all like now dedicate our whole working lives to making sure we have a presence on. Like this weird dimension, like crypto, this weird fourth dimension, and like, but when we're in that space, we are dead. We're not the living human being. We've got another identity. We've got several identities. We've joined platforms, we've signed agreements. When you go and sign up to Netflix, fuck knows what those contracts are. All those contracts we've signed, like we literally have like a Kelly Jones version, maybe 20 different times online that essentially all not the living person, they're all dead. So could resurrection of the dead be much more attuned to this sort of concept than the zombies reappearing out of bodies that we have are missing?
Yeah, could this be the reset? They're talking about the financial reset. And I mean, it is interesting that, the new coin they want to use is called crypto, crypts, dead people rising. It's interesting, right? Like that they're following this script, which who knows where they got it, but they're trying to play it out, like literally. I guess they want to become gods on earth. That's what they actually want to do in the end. They want to be, supreme rulers, right? But yeah, yeah, crypto, man. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, like
Could that
if
be
we were ever
it?
going to, yeah, crypto. If we were ever going to get the concept of the zombie resurrection of the dead, like literal, then it would, they would just come out of the cathedral areas where there's like, there's the few skeletons, maybe there are. We don't know. I don't know if anyone's dug one up recently. That there's a few like maybe kind of puppet skeletons that could like be reanimated. And don't forget at this point, Cam, about fucking Project Bluebeam, because
Yeah.
whatever that actually is, we've all been aware of it for a very long time. So, staging
Yes.
anything like that.
Yeah, that came from, yeah, well, that's interesting because that came from uh, Werner von Braun's secretary, didn't it?
Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
interesting, old Werner, who, wrote the Mars book with Elon in it and, joined with Disney and started NASA and all this stuff. And, so is that more part of the script? I don't know. I don't,
Of course.
it's an
It
interesting one, but I think
was.
at the end we got to learn to trust ourselves, right? More than we trust the electronics, right? The online world. I mean, it's all useful, and this is the thing is you can't really, interact with the world too much, build businesses, do all this kind of stuff without the internet these days. But you can just use what you need to use. You don't have to be on social media and scrolling and taking on the fear and all this stuff. Same with AI, it's useful, but I mean, in the end, I always think back to that, that interview we did with um the Aussie guys,
The Strongs.
the Strongs, remember? And they were talking about the Aboriginals, and they said that the Aboriginals rejected technology, basically. And at that time, I remember thinking, yeah, right, that's interesting. Why would you do that? And here we are in 2025, only like 2 or 3 years later, and I'm going, I can see why they did that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, we only talk about this because, could it be part of the resurrection of the dead concept, which I think probably it is because we're moving into a second life online. We already work online and we can't avoid the motherfucking thing. And the next generation, they won't even know a time where they weren't striving to be online. The idea of not working online would be like poverty to them, poor poverty, old fashioned, couldn't even comprehend it. I literally watched my father go to work every single day and my mother, and they weren't working with computers.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
worked
absolutely,
hard, man. They owned hotels. Yeah.
yeah.
So those sorts of jobs, like they're just less and less real. And the jobs of the dead are more and more and more available and sought after. Like, yeah.
Yes, it's
Anyway,
interesting, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, I guess when you're online, you're not the flesh and blood man or woman, right? You're now working as an entity, right?
That's right.
Put your name in
Literally, it's
here,
called an entity.
an entity, yes.
Ah, God.
Fiction,
Right. So, what happens after the resurrection of the dead? If we follow this sort of all these stages that are
judgment.
classically across all the Abrahamic religions, the next one's a great tribulation
Oh, the
or
tribulation.
time of unprecedented suffering.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks, God.
Thanks. I know. Yeah. You fucking love us heaps, man. We love you right back. Love you
Yes.
right back. So I guess one would say we're in that time, maybe, or maybe we haven't even quite got, maybe we haven't even hit a final global conflict, which is number one.
Which
So
is
maybe
what they're
these are,
trying to push,
yeah, so we're
for
probably still
sure.
in stage one. So, yeah, so we haven't actually arrived at the unprecedented time of suffering, but that's something fun to look forward to. And then,
Yeah.
of course, then now we have the divine judgment of humanity.
Divine judgment.
Divine judgment of
Nice. So
humanity.
judgment by divination.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, right? Because, all the Christians that they use the word divine, God is divine. That word comes from divination, which
Yeah.
is all to do with tarot and horoscopes and all this kind of stuff, which apparently is evil
Yeah.
if you ask the Christians. So that's an
Yeah.
interesting one.
And why is it evil? Because you're not allowed to take information from any other source. It's like it's an act against your faith to rely on any other source, including your own goddamn intuition or source,
Mm,
or the people you love the most in your whole lives and have grown up and trust your family and your friends' sources. You can't take anything from them. No more energy healing, no more modalities, no more work, no more self manifestation. All of that goes against,
God's word. You got to live by
yeah.
God's word.
Mhm.
God's word, right?
But
So
how much does that just sound
divine,
like, like a judgment and a savior complex? Like how that isn't that the epitome of how you would define that? When you
totally.
cannot, yeah,
And then he calls himself jealous on top of all that. So, I mean, he's given us a few clues, or it, whatever it is, this entity. And of course, it says in the Bible, do not judge that because that's God's job. Do not judge. So, what do? They put judges in all the court systems. Do not use the Lord's, name in vain. So, there's a House of Lords and there's lords everywhere, lords of the matter. I mean, it's crazy, right? There's all this preaching, and this is why we're Christian, and this is what we do, but
yeah.
the whole religion doesn't even follow those rules. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy,
It's
Cam.
crazy.
Right. So after we go through the divine judgment of humanity, God help you, God help you,
Judged,
people.
yes, and you're all going to be judged badly because you were all born with sin. Even though
Yeah,
you were created perfect by
that's
God,
right. No.
you were then born with sin.
And you're born dead too, by the way. You're
And
born with
then
sin and you're born dead. But then after the divine judgment of humanity, then comes a new earth, a
new
paradise, the
earth. We're
kingdom,
all
the new
into that
kingdom,
one.
the new
Yeah,
reign of Christ,
really.
or the Messiah, or whatever you want to call it. Yep. Yep.
This is like the 1,000-year reign, I
That would be like the
guess.
1,000 years. So a new
Yeah.
earth, 1,000 years. And then what happens then, Cam? Then we get a new deceiver. and a new anti-Messiah figure.
Just
That's
just
what
to
we,
make sure that you're following the right God, just in case you devoted yourself, just you might not be. Here's
yep,
someone else that looks really good,
yep,
saying they're Jesus. If
that's
you
right.
follow him, you're gonna
So
burn.
just when you think it's all good again and you don't know a time of suffering, along comes the new deceiver. And then what happens after the new deceiver arrives? The new Antichrist or the new Luciferian agenda. What happens then? Well, then when
Then
we go into cosmic signs, and they love these cosmic signs.
cosmic
This is the
signs,
actual terminology. Cosmic signs, cosmic,
cosmic
cosmic signs.
things in the sky.
Cosmic signs, which are earthquakes, volcanoes, floodings. I
Oh,
love flooding, stars falling, cosmic signs.
cosmic signs are, yeah, right. Flooding as well. I wonder,
Yeah,
okay.
cosmic eclipses. There are cosmic signs that because in this understanding, weather is completely dependent on the movement of cosmology. So, like they're one and the same, right? So, cosmic signs. And then we start the whole thing again. We return to step number one, a final global conflict. And then two, a new Messiah or Savior appears. Then three, resurrection of the dead. Then four, the great tribulation, divine judgment. And then a new earth. And then a deceiver appears. And then we get a cosmic signs. And then we're back to a final global conflict. And every single time we seem to go through this, there's a reset.
There's a reset. I was just looking up cosmic casino. Originates from the Greek word cosmos, which initially meant order or arrangement.
Mm.
So the order,
Disarrangement
yeah,
then.
yeah, exactly. Disarrangement day. Jeez.
Yeah, just
Um,
like Dark City, everything gets
man,
rearranged, disarranged.
I'm just glad that God loves us, because if he didn't, imagine what shit he'd be throwing at us. Because holy
Ah,
dog, when you
whoo,
love him and you
baby.
do the right thing, he's still like destroying the world around you and sending deceivers in and doing everything he can to get you down to hell.
Yeah, to trick
But
you,
he's a
man.
loving God.
So, look, we're not, this isn't us just having a
Sorry, it's a
bit
bit
of
of a
a
Christian
rant.
fest, but
That's not the intention of this show. So, our intention really was on the idea that
it,
the weather events that are being really, really focused on and the end
mm,
time prophecies are like, they're not omens, they're
no.
engineered events.
Yeah, they're being put up as proof and omens and all this stuff and prophecy. But we know this is all engineered. This is all made by beings. We'll say that because they're not, men or women. But yeah, this is all engineered. We know it, right?
Yep. Yep.
Totally.
They're engineered events. Everything that we see has been planned that way.
Mm,
It's not like it's a um like someone seen into the future 2000 years ago. Oh, well, I mean, not that that would be like you could do that because it seems to be just as far as we've had the invasion, the invading force, and thus religion,
mm,
because they're one and the same. I'm sorry to burst everyone's bubble, they're one and the same. Like, as long as that's been going on, then these stages are very predictable because they're engineered.
mm. Yeah, yeah. And even all the prophecy that we have from, non-religious people, like
Hmm.
Nostradamus and Mother Shipton and all these things who all
Oh,
basically
Mother Shipton.
predict
Oh,
the
Mother
same thing,
Shipton.
right? They're all predicting,
Whoops.
you
Feel like a
know,
DJ.
bad
DJ,
stuff.
man. Like a DJ end of days DJ.
Do, 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 do. Um, yeah, yeah, like there's all this stuff to back up their story, but it's just books. We don't have first-hand knowledge of all this. It could just all be written. No one's met Nostradamus. No one can, prove that he wrote anything or who he was, but it keeps getting referenced. Oh, well,
Yep.
it's in the Bible, but also Nostradamus.
Yep.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just part of the script.
I mean that's how we know of this idea of Atlantis. It's from like one fucking
One,
sentence by Plato,
Plato. Yep.
whoever Plato was. Basically, oh yeah, so I wanted to say that, but going back to the number thing, if we have literally like could probably really, if we think about all the people we've known in our lives and all the people we've met, you might get past 1,000 in our whole life. I'm not sure. You guys decide what your number is, but um, that's the extent of how many people we actually know like exists on this realm.
Mm.
like, and I can probably every time you travel, you can broaden your perspective. But like, I don't think there's a person unless you're. I mean, how do you do? Like, if you're not so, if you're just living in a normal life, it would be very far pushed to get you past knowing 10,000 people.
10,000,
Yeah,
yeah.
10,000 people.
Geez, that's a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
5,000 people.
I don't think you get anywhere near that if you, I mean, it
Mm.
may seem like there's a lot, but if you get down and start writing them, most people don't think it even hit 1,000, which, yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Like there should be just a lot of different, because a lot of people know the same people too, right? You always meet people who know the same people.
Yes.
Shouldn't there should be this, exponential. It just doesn't seem like there's enough people. And then the whole 6 degrees of separation, how does that work if there's 8 billion
Yep.
people? I mean, how does it
Yep.
even work if there's 2 billion, really, right? That's a
Yep.
weird thing.
I mean, an extension of the show last week would be to say that apart from those you have met in your life, like in any sort of way, like not just background passerbyers, then that really is the extent of how big you can validate your understanding of what actually this world is made up of. Like what part of the programming is the expansion of all the container. So, there might be 100,000 living beings on this realm that are human, like that small. But
Yeah,
it gets expanded out. Here are all the pictures. We're going to give you heaps of pictures and videos, and we're gonna put on these like sporting events, for example, and we're gonna put on these arena events to broaden it out. And we're gonna give you statistics. And then we're gonna blow up the statistics so much. Then we're gonna say that it's causing a problem. There's so many people, and then we're gonna give you the political agenda, the climate
solutions. Yeah,
change, overpopulation. And so you get this blown up version of what the world looks like, right? And same with the weather that's happening at this current moment online. Like it looks absolutely shocking. It looks so unbelievably bad. You're seeing like so much water and flooding and demolition of towns and destruction, and you're seeing these tornadoes and these storms and these earthquakes now and these tsunamis involved. You're seeing all of that playing out on this screen.
true. Like we're not interacting with it, right? It's the greatest show on earth.
Yeah, it is. And like, what else do we watch on this screen? We watch movies on this screen. And the movies we watch, what else do they show? Oh,
The
they
same
show
stuff.
flooding and earthquakes and volcanoes and destruction. They show all that in the movies, just like they show all that in the social movies.
Yeah,
So I guess what the point I'm trying to make is the way to stay sane in my perception of what's going on is that as I was trained to use my intuition, the teaching was always observe what is obvious.
it's obvious.
Just observe what is obvious. What is
Mm.
actually obvious to you guys on these topics? Like what do you know that would generate that sort of outcome? And we know that there's a religious agenda. We know that there's weather manipulation. We know that there is the capacity to make amazing movies that have fooled the world for the whole. I mean, yes, the people still believe that people like landed on the moon because
Yeah,
of those
totally.
TV shows and
Yeah,
that
yeah. And
news
even
that.
back to radio, remember Orson Welles, right?
Yep,
Like created chaos just because he was saying the words, because that was their
yep,
only form of
yep,
information. But this is the thing, if you talk to someone about, Star Wars, and you're like, oh yeah, man, I hope the, what are the baddies called? I hope Darth Vader doesn't come and invade us, next year. They'd be like,
yep.
dude, that's a movie. And, we're kind of saying a bit the same, right? All this stuff that's coming up, apart from the fact with AI now that we literally, don't really know if it's real or not unless we do the research, it's a movie. And even if it's happening, it might be happening as they show, it might be happening in, smaller, and they're just pumping it up. But whatever way, like when one event happens, it gets turned into 10,000 videos. And it
Mm-hmm,
seems like it's so much worse than it is.
mm-hmm,
And it seems like it's happening everywhere.
mm-hmm.
And everyone takes on the fear and the grief and all this stuff from these people who are going through the experience. But the people who see it on the screen, it's not their experience. You can't do it. It's not for you. And So this is what we've got to ask ourselves is, these people who are in control, unfortunately, would they lie to us? Would they manipulate things? Would they tell us that when they're doing the wrong thing? Have they got an agenda? Do they like promoting fear? Does making us all think that the world is about to end, does that aid their agenda? Is that something they would want? I mean, ask
I
yourself
mean,
those questions.
they're so masterful at it. They literally completely inverted what happened in World War One and Two,
Yeah,
like to
totally.
such
Yeah.
an extent that it became a part of our consciousness. And it's hard to remind yourselves that your consciousness is creating this,
Mm. Yeah, I actually watched
right?
Forrest Gump again the other day for the first time in
Did
years.
you? That's
I
weird. How
did.
was that? Oh, I can't
It's
I
good.
can't
I
stand
know.
watching Tom
Yes,
Hanks.
I know.
Gosh,
It's
how
got
did you
Tom in it.
go?
But it is a good movie, but it's also interesting because that was the first movie where they started inserting him, into these historical scenes. He was meeting different presidents and stuff, and it looks like Forrest Gump met the president, right? But it was just a movie, guys. They can
Yeah.
manipulate all this stuff, and Forrest Gump's one of those classic ones where they're telling us the history. They're like, this is what happened in the 50s.
Yeah.
This is what happened in the 60s. This is what happened in the 70s. This is what happened in the 80s. There's your story. Just like all the cowboy movies that, are out there for 20, 30 years promoting this whole, you know, part of history, this whole lifestyle that never existed.
Cowboys and Indians.
Never existed. Cowboys and
Mm,
Indians.
mm.
Is that a
Yep.
whistle? Is that a whistle?
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. So I guess, all we're trying to maybe say today in this talk is fear not,
Fear not.
organic human beings, because what's happening out there is an engineered end of day scenario, and it wraps itself around these reset moments. But at the end of the day, your consciousness is what generates it.
Mm,
So, if you are not interested in going through the end of days, so to speak, then I would stop paying any attention to it, would be my suggestion.
mm. Yeah, totally. They give us all this stuff so that we create it, or at least, we accept it when they bring it in, right? The way out is in. So, yeah, the more we focus on what we want to do and creating the world that we want to create, the better we're going to do. And
Yeah.
it's all just an option, right? They just put it up there and they're like, would you like this? Would you like AI? And everyone in the world jumps on and goes, oh my God, I can't live without AI. It's amazing. They're like, they want it. Let's bring it in. Let's spend 500 billion on creating a supercomputer.
Well,
Um,
like as we learned with the sovereignty work this week, Cam, like there's a public and a private, there's public and there's private. And in the realms of the public, you are basically offered something, and they have to, by nature of speaking to the real person in the private, offer a remedy. There has
mm,
to be a remedy as
yeah,
part of the process and communication. So there is always a remedy on offer, my friends. Always. And in this case, it's
always.
as simple as like deciding, nah, I'm not paying attention to that. Yes, all right, maybe those weather events are occurring, maybe in some little way, but I am pretty 100% sure they're manipulated by weather manipulation, which means it's not happening to the whole realm as this big prophesized event that you are going to you
No,
know, get
yeah,
really close to interacting with in the next couple of years.
no, it's not organic, right?
It's not organic.
But it might be from the small g gods, It could be small g god wrath, right? Because that's who they think they are, that these
Mm.
people, and they probably are the people from the stories, right? Or the beings, and this is how they're doing it. They're just running out of script. Okay, we're at end times. Everyone, gets scared, expect it, and then they just manipulate us through it. But it's like drugs, right? You can just say no.
Yeah, you can just say no. That's right. We're doing a bicarb cleanse, everyone. We've tried this new experiment where our friend Adesh put us onto, where you take bicarb and honey, and
Doesn't
you
taste
do
that
it.
good.
Yes, and I have had the runs all morning. Can I just say, after the
Yes,
10
it
count, oh my
definitely
God.
gets
Woo!
things moving,
Woo!
shall we say?
So again, my God. But it's very fascinating because the concept obviously is that you are attempting to get your pH level up to 8, so you're alkaline, and then you hold it for 5 days. You keep it at 8 for 5 days, which means no wine and no parties going on. Sorry, Mr. Autodidactic Show. Um, and then what it does is that, and you take the bicarb with honey, and the bicarb and honey interact with each other, and basically the cancer moves towards the honey, and the bicarb destroys the cancer. So it's an internal cancer cleanse slash parasite cleanse,
Yeah,
and has the potential to reset your gut because it alkalines everything. So we're just trying it.
we're trying it. Yes, we're doing our best. We're cleaning our
Trying it.
temples.
That's right. We're trying it because really, you could go into these like next 50 years on this realm in a glorious, regenerated, improved, manifestor's way, Campbell. You don't have to go in there like riddled with fear and doubt and stress and worry about all the shit that's going on in the world and what's happening and what's going on in this all these delusional economies and blah 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 blah. You could actually choose to spend all this energy regenerating your being and getting your energy centers nice and squeaky clean again, and getting your resonance machine up, 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 and making the mechanics of your body thrive again, and and de-age yourself a little bit, and shake off the shackles of all of this programming around you, and just like have fucking thrive and thrive
Mm,
and
yeah,
thrive.
thrive, man, thrive. Yeah, man. Jeez, I'm 53 in a week.
It's
Believe
Campbell's
that?
birthday in a week. Oh my
Yes.
God. All right.
Oh,
How are we
yes.
going to
You've got
handle this? How are we going to handle
it.
this, Campbell? What happens in a week for your
I
birthday?
don't know.
Shit.
Probably drinks at my house.
Well, we
So
better get our
it's a
cancer
good time
sorted.
to be doing our, yeah, like bicarb diet. Got a big festival in Maloney tomorrow. I've got a meeting at the pub today. I've got a birthday. But anyway,
Bad time to do
we'll
it.
soldier through it.
Not that you and I have any cancerous things. We're doing this more as a biome reset because, we did the fast last year and that's pretty good at wiping all that shit out. It
Yeah, I
alkalines the
mean,
system for
there's
fucking
so
3 weeks.
much crap in everything that I think, a yearly clean out is advised.
It is advised.
It's
Like
just
getting an oil check.
getting a
Like doing
what?
your oil, changing your oil
What?
in the car, which I hate doing,
Changing
by the
your
way.
oil.
Yes. So, yes, I mean, at the end of the day, it's our choice. It's our choice to be in a state of regeneration and thriving, to enter this realm. And not only because this realm is being manipulated so heavily right now with chaos and all sorts of things, you really could start maybe like training your mind to align you with the right opportunities at the right time to like expand and experience even more satisfaction and joy. You could just be at the right time in the right place where you stumble across the most beautiful piece of property that's just like basically at bargain basement properties for whatever reasons happened around in the world that's past your life experience, and you don't have to
You could win
worry
a
about
house.
it, huh?
You could win a house. You could win the lottery.
Anything.
And this is the thing when you take the focus off, oh my God, the world's ending. Look at all this stuff. Oh my God, oh my God. You can put your focus on something like, oh my God, I'm the luckiest person in the world. Oh my God, it's
That's
so
right.
easy. Oh my God, wealth just falls in my lap all the time.
Yeah.
Health
Oh
seeks
my
me
God.
out. Yeah, not
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Oh my
No, no, but it's
creator.
good. My God, my
My
God,
God.
my
Yes,
God,
mine.
my God, generating reality forward, my
Good.
life,
Yeah,
my
the good
experience.
God.
Yeah,
Good
and look,
God.
we all know that reality is generated individually by our here, projected out. We know that. We so know that. So why then do people fall into the background movie? If we know it's all coming from here, all of it.
We're projectors, literally. Yeah, I agree. I think, it's like a third eye, right? It's a little camera that's projecting our experience out in front of us. Like I think that's almost it, right? Everything's frequency. We know this, right? And so if everything's frequency, why are we worrying about all this solid, physical outside world? Oh my God, this is happening in the physical world. This is happening. It's all energy, right? If we go back to that and we understand we're creating it and we can control our thoughts, which are energy, that's how you change the world. And it's much better than living in fear and letting someone else tell you how to create the world they want, right? Be stubborn. Like, rules are for fools, man. Like, tell the leaders to get stuffed and build your own world.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you watch that earthquake, that tsunami hitting Russia today, like, and how it got, and we know here in Australia, particularly here in Queensland, how they went on about that cyclone that happened. I don't remember its
Yeah.
name. Um,
Um,
whatever.
it
A
was like
couple of
Butler's name, wasn't it?
Alfred or something like that. Alfred
Alfred,
was cyclone.
Alfred.
So
Yeah,
there's
Alfred.
months ago, this cyclone was promoted on the news as being like this thing that was going to like cause so much damage to the coast that literally they shut down. There's two states almost. All the kids were sent home from school for four
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
All the schools were shut, all the petrol stations,
All the
everything, the whole
businesses,
infrastructure
like people
got
lost.
shut.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nothing fucking happened.
Nothing
Nothing.
happened.
Not it didn't even rain, basically. It
And
was ridiculous.
isn't that always the way, right? They, like in that first clip, they were saying, oh, 1946, we're doing this so we can stop, cyclones and hurricanes. We're doing it for you, you know. They always, like, they never know when a big one actually hits, right? And every time they do these big plans and get people up and it's coming, nothing happens. And then before you know it, no word at all, everyone's at home and bang, they get hit.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah. Yeah. So like my point is that, with the tsunami that hit Russia yesterday, like and how that's been like spread. Like I didn't know what's happening because I'd been onto Facebook for a day and then I saw it last night. And by the time I saw it, it had literally been translated into 100 different news places, truther podcasts, like clips, TikTok, like in all different, like everyone talking about, and I just thought, fucking like that. What I'm watching right now, it's no different to my experience if I was watching it at the movies, right? Because I can't feel it, I can't experience it, I can't have any five sensory experience with it. I'm watching it on a projector screen, the same way I would be watching a movie.
Mm,
Thus, why are we reacting to it? Why is it more relevant than literally us seeing it at the cinema, which because we could get the thrill of it, seeing it at the cinema, the thrill could be there. But then you leave the cinema and that's it. You're not like drowning in an actual flood.
mm.
So I'm not saying it's not occurring
Happening.
in
Yeah.
some capacity, but I think these capacities are small, they're contrived, they're controlled, they're videoed, they're set, a set of an experience. I feel like with Yellowstone, like there's so much talk about Yellowstone right now, and all these videos of animals leaving
Animals. Yeah.
Yellowstone, and yet then I see other videos of people saying that those videos of those animals were from Africa in 1982, and like there's like it's always
You
this.
just don't know,
Anyway, you
man.
guys know all this shit.
You
It's
just,
just a
yeah.
reminder.
Yeah, it's just a reminder. Yeah, we just don't know. It's just put. It's like the pictures. They put it up and they write a date in the corner. We don't know that's the date that it was taken. It's just the date that someone wrote there. That's it. So
If you take out all the weather information, all the alien subjective information, which they're really, it's going to be amped up
pushing.
heaps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
You take those two things out of the equation, you take anything to do with a religion out of the equation. There's really only a few cats and dogs left on the internet after that. You know what I mean? Like if you
And we
at
love our
the
dog videos.
the agendas aren't really that like varied. Really, there's only a few that are just like, just been added to by trillions of human beings adding their take on. Like, but yeah,
Yeah, and now people get paid for creating this content. They get a lot of views when it's all sensationalistic. So a lot of it's literally been made, knowingly that this stuff's fake, just because they want to get views. So, put that together with the agendas and everyone multiplying these stories by a million, and like Kelly said, what are we left with? Not much. 10, 15, 20 stories maybe, and you think the world's exploding and gonna end.
yeah.
This is so yes, don't believe everything that you see or hear.
I mean, it's not like we have to tell anyone that from our audience, as if, like, of
Yeah, so
course,
share
we don't
this
have to
video
tell you that.
around.
Yeah, but it's just like, let's just like hardly remind ourselves
Yeah,
as it's getting more and more, more and more things are
yeah.
happening, it appears to be.
And it's pointed, and that's the
Yeah,
whole thing now is end of the world, which it
yeah.
always has been, but now it's biblical prophecy end of the
Yeah,
world, not nuclear
absolutely.
bombs, not
Yep.
atom bombs, not
Yeah.
war. Now it is really, it's just a bigger war.
Yeah.
The whole world's
And
going
the
to explode.
Yeah, and the wars that are coming, they're going to be religious wars anyway.
Yeah,
And they're all going to be like
as
Black
they
Lives
all are.
Matters, where they're going to be, paid in groups to terrorize other groups. And
Yeah,
then like, but I don't know any of those people. I don't know
open
any of
fires,
those
man.
people. I don't know anything about that. They're just part of the movie to me. Like everyone I know is fucking excellent.
Yeah, exactly. That's our experience. And this is the thing, the more you focus on having an excellent experience, the more you will have. The more you focus on the world's crap, the more evidence you'll see for that. Because our mind always wants to prove us correct, right?
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, look, that's
But
all I wanted to say
I
about
think
all
we've
of that,
been rambling a
Campbell.
bit. Yes, yes. I think so. So,
So,
links below, guys. Which way? That way. Jolly Swag Tour, 5th
yeah, and
September to the 7th. Come down, join us, and get your tickets
it'd be so
ASAP,
we
just so that we know that,
it's really
the
helpful on this.
numbers. We've got to have food there, things like this. We want to get as close to the mark as we can.
Yes, and at our live events, there's always at least 50 people that turn up and pound the door, which is we love and it's
Which is
fine. But
fine. Just let us know you're coming.
this particular one is a bit more difficult. But you can still let us know you're coming and pay cash on the door if you
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to.
Because a
But
lot of
this
people want to deal in cash, but just, yeah, please send us an
an
email
email,
below
yes.
tartariaaustralia@gmail.com.
Yeah. And hey, team, I don't know what's happened to us in the last 20 years, but I've gone through the Tartarian newspaper submissions, and thank you everyone that submitted. I've loved reading and seeing everything finally and seeing the big pool of what's come in, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And this is the last call out for that, as because I'm in production now. So if you have anything that you haven't submitted that you could submit, like there's a link down here, it'll take you to the submission form. And do it now. Do it when you watch this podcast. Get in there. We haven't got that many photographs, which there's not one map so far. No
Oh,
interesting maps,
interesting.
but
Yeah,
some
send them
cool
in.
cool theories. And of course, you're all welcome to promote your business, service, modality, fucking ship for sale, houses for rent, whatever it is. You can put yourself up for a dating classified. Whatever it is, just essentially think of this as your yellow pages, an in-house yellow pages for the Tartaria Australia community, just
Mm.
for fun. But what I was about to say is, I don't know what's happened to us, but fuck, man, everyone's forgotten how to actually write their
Oh,
full
yes.
addresses. It's the weirdest thing. Like, honestly, I've had maybe there's a few hundred that have said yes to their first free submission. Sorry, their first free edition. So there's another link down here that will let you sign up for a free edition of the first edition, a free
Free copy
copy
of the
of
first
the
edition.
first edition. And so you can see what the fuck we end up creating here. So that's our gift to you guys. But if you want that, you need to fucking give me your address and a postal address, and
Because,
not just
yeah.
half an address, quarter of an address, just a little bit of an address. I need the full address. Like, I don't need, there's some that I don't even know what country you've like these are getting sent to.
Yeah.
There's like names of streets with nothing else, no postcodes, no town, no country. Like, and I'm not just talking about one or two guys. I'm like talking about like a big chunk that now
I have to
Paul
send out
Campbell,
emails,
he has to
man.
contact everyone and then wait for them to return it and then put it all back in the Excel sheet. It's horrible. It's horrible what you've done to him. You're all really mean. You're mean, mean people for doing this. So
Yes.
if you're one of those
Don't give us
people,
more work. We don't want it.
right. So again, if you want to get a free copy of the first edition of the Tartarian Australia newspaper, go to the link below here and put in your full fucking postal address.
We need to
Okay?
know where to send it, man.
Right.
This
And
is
if you're
old
like
school.
got this sneaking suspicion that you may be one of those people that didn't give the full address, then resubmit. And if you have anything else you'd like to add to the newspaper, anything else you'd like to add, this is your last chance. This is it. This is the week. This is it. I've started production. So that's my update, Mr.
Yes.
Autodidactic.
There you go. So that's it. Buy tickets from Mulaney. If you want to pay cash at door, please send us an email, let us know. So we've got numbers. Submit your articles or pictures or maps or photos. And please give us your address. And like Kelly said, if you're one of the maybe offending people, just send us an email. Say, I'm an offender. Here's my address. This is what I sent in. We would
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And then
And
you
in
put
the
in
future, we would
brackets.
appreciate you not giving us more work to do because we're very busy.
They're so mean, Campbell. They're
I
so
know,
mean.
they're so
I
mean
know.
to me. So
All
mean.
right, everyone. Excellent, excellent. Well, look, have a beautiful week. We'll see you on next Friday for Tartaria Australia and whatever else is happening. And, really do have a really excellent week that you truly decide to vibe yourself right into from this moment forward.
Yeah.
Get good vibey, people.
Yeah, man. Plug into nature.
Plug into yourself.
And
Plug into your
consistency.
fucking imaginations. Imaginations is the key. It's the
Imagination.
key.
It's the
The
best
biggest
nation to
dream
be
wins
in.
because it's your dream in your reality.
Yeah.
And you got to stop dreaming about all this shit. All this shit behind us, it's out, man. It's done. It's gone. Forget
Gone.
it. It's lower density. All
Yes.
right.
Find the magician within.
Stop ranting, Kelly. All right. Love
Yes.
you guys.
All
Have a
right.
beautiful week.
Stay
We'll see you
awesome.
next week on Tartaria Australia.
See you guys. Love you all.